I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't hear. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head,
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Well, sad news, a body has been found. There's not been a formal identification, but Gaynor's family has been informed. 2 members of a dive team were seen by reporters from the Press Association recovering a body from the river in Norwich. The location was later marked with an orange buoy. It does look like the area where the body was found is an area that they've been searching for, not all along, but they've been searching for it for some time. The area also seems quite close to the side of the river. According to Sky News, quote, at 9 a.m. this morning, search teams prepared to begin another day, which would have been day 7, searching around the river at Wensum Park. They weren't there for long. In other words, they were still at Wensum Park, and they were there for about half an hour, and then they packed up. And it wasn't because they'd completed their search, it was because they had located remains. And what they did was they left an orange buoy marking a location in the river. Then a diving team arrived, and so what this shows is that the body was located using sonar, which is unlike what happened with Nicola Bulley, where the sonar couldn't locate her, and she was located via, I guess, strangers and an unofficial search team. In this case, sonar did locate the body, and then a diving team arrived. One entered the river equipped with a body bag. The body was moved onto the bank of the river where a white tent was erected. If you look at the photo taken, I guess, by the Press Association, you can see that they're wearing green gloves. You can also see one woman is lifting her hand to her face, and there does seem to be tension in the individuals that are there. I do think it's quite a respectful image. Now, if we think about where we are, it's taken a week to get to this point, but it really is unavoidable drawing comparisons with the Nicola Bulley case. One of the biggest differences in this case is that the police have all week virtually ruled out the possibility of a crime. And I do remember in the Nicola Bulley case, that was not quite the case in terms of there was a little bit of uncertainty in terms of the CCTV. It was a little bit of a different park. Obviously, there were far more passers-by. It was early in the morning, but not so early that there weren't members of the public that were sort of wandering around. And this then led to suspicion. And obviously, the longer it took to find Nicola, the greater those suspicions grew. And so if you think about at this stage in the Nicola Bulley case, a week has gone by. Where is Nicola Bulley? She's definitely not in the river. Do you remember all of that? And there was this sense that she's not there. The people have searched. They couldn't find her. And so because that seemed unaccountable, they couldn't find her after a week, it seemed natural to default to foul play. Well, look at this case. That didn't happen. And I also think what didn't happen in this case was a lot of folks that covered this the last time in true crime didn't do it this time. The search for Gaynor shows, once again, just how not easy it is searching in water, even in relatively targeted search patterns, and as well as using a whole host of resources. Searching in water isn't easy. Now, we don't know exactly what has happened here. We can make a couple of educated guesses, but if foul play is ruled out, and I think we do have to wait for a formal announcement and an autopsy to have some certainty on that. I mean, it's actually too early to rule it completely out. But if it is ruled out, then the next step would be to determine, was this an accidental drowning? Was this accidental or something else? Reports have already indicated that there were no markings in the river, on the side of the river, indicative of an accident or struggle at the water's edge, which is what you would expect in an accidental scenario, or for that matter, a foul play scenario. And that was also the case with Nicola Bulley. No signs of wear and tear, bruising, mud smears, or anything like that at the river's edge. Now, one may imagine that if what happened to Gaynor was deliberate and of her own doing, then wouldn't there be a note? Wouldn't a note have been left behind? Did you know that only in a minority of cases, a quarter to a third of suicides, 25 to 30%, are they accompanied by a note? But on the other hand, if this wasn't an accident and it wasn't foul play, one really has to wonder what the issue was. What was going on? What was going on beneath the surface? Now, it's not so much a question of beneath the surface of this river, but beneath Gaynor's surface. What was going on in her heart? What was she thinking about? And equally, if there was something significant going on, how come nobody around Gaynor seemed to notice what was going on? In any event, we now await an official statement from law enforcement. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.